A mother recently posted a question on Quora that started a huge discipline debate. She asked, is taking your 13-year-old daughter's door off the hinges for misbehaving an appropriate punishment? And according to the responses, a lot of parents do this, even if their child doesn't misbehave. They say that it's their house and they want to know what's going on. So, ladies, what would you advise this mom to do?
You the mama. Oof. And you got
I want to hear what you have to say, Garcelle, because this is a hard one.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard, only because I know how important my kids love their doors closed. They're playing video games. They're yelling at their friends. And sometimes I like the door closed too. But I feel like if whatever they did, if it weren't really making a point, making a statement, something that would really make them take a second look at what they did, I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, I mean, I've never done it. My parents never did it to me. But I think if it was something horrific enough that you want to make a point, this would be a statement, because then they'd feel like they'd have completely no privacy. And I wouldn't do it for the rest of the year, but I think maybe for a week.
Privacy?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Privacy? Yeah. What's privacy? I never knew what privacy was when I was growing up.
I didn't either, because I had to sleep with a bunch of people.
Yeah, me too. Never had my own bedroom. I never got to close the door. My mother was like, privacy? Girl, you want privacy? And low-key, this feels more like a punishment for the parent than it does for the child. Are we making the kid take the door off and put the door back on? Because I'm not doing it. That's a project. That's an HGTV project that I just don't want to do. If they got to do it, no. You got to sit and unscrew the hinges. I'm looking at a door right now. That's 1, 2, 3 hinges. I'm not doing that.
It's heavy for you, Munch. Yes,
That's the punishment.
No, the reason why I say it's hard.
They got to unhinge the door and rehinge it.
Right. The reason why I say it's hard is because I imagine the worst case scenario where this would be needed. And for me in my house, if I had a child, it would be if I found out that the child was doing drugs or bringing drugs into the house.
That's what I mean.
Or having sex in the room when I absolutely have no idea about the people that they're bringing in there, sneaking out, things like this. The thing that's hard for me is I wouldn't take the door off, because now you violated me so much that you're disrupting my household vibe because of your antics. So I would have to figure out a way to put you somewhere for you to learn, whether it's removing you from the house, depending on your age, those situations. But that's a hard one for me, because what do you do when your child is too old to discipline, too old to spank, let's say? Maybe they're 16, 17, and they're really doing hard drugs in your house, or they're selling, or they're sneaking out late at night. So you've got to sleep with an eye open. There are situations where, I'm not saying taking the door off the hinges is right. I'm just saying, I hate that moment where parents really don't know what to do. I've had those situations in my family. You don't know what to do. You can't hit them. You can't discipline them. You can't ground them. It's not. Those things are not in the picture.
You're right. I think that what it would take for a parent to actually
and then it makes you, like you said,
entire door. It must be an extreme situation.
And like you said, Adrian, it's actually more hard to kick them out. When you kick them out, you're restless. You don't know where your kid is. Now you've broken the bond of trust. You've broken communication. It's worse.
You almost feel as though you punished yourself, because now you're staying up all night worried about where that child is. It's a two-edged sword.
God bless parents.
No, I was going to say, a lot of times when you punish your kids, you're punishing everybody in the household. If they're grounded and they can't do something like during spring break, everybody's grounded on that weekend. Nobody can go out because you want to make sure that they're actually following your rules. But I think if it's something as drastic as drugs or sex or whatever you feel is drastic for your household, if taking the door will get their attention, that's what you got to do. If they're too old to hit or to, whatever your disciplines are. But I think taking the door might get their attention. And I think, some
especially
parents
at 13.
To do that. Yeah,
you can still talk to them at 13. You're not going to kick
them out at 13.
Yeah, but around 16, 17, you
take away those phones.
Personally, me,
take away those phones.
It's so scary. Garcelle, I can't wait to sit back and hear more of your stories, because I want to know how you're going to handle it. I really do.
I already went through one with Oliver, and let me tell you, I'm exhausted. I'm done.
Well, at least you got experience.
It is hard. Adrian, I can't wait to see you as a mom. I think, but it's like one of the hardest jobs you can do. But I think you'll be a great mom. And Jeannie, if you ever decide to do it, I think you'll be a great mom too. And Lonnie, you're a great aunt.
I'll take them.
Worst case scenario, we're sending our kids to Lonnie.
Yeah, one time I was babysitting one of my nieces, and she tried to shut that door on me. I said, we don't do that around here. See, aunties have a different level of authority, I think, than with the parents. And it's just something, and so I don't misuse my powers, but I do try to use them when I need to. And that was one time when I used them. We don't shut no doors around here, honey, And one time.
And what did she say?
She was like, okay. But then one time she called her mother a bitch. And her mother called me.
Oh!
And I went over there. Oh, yeah. I went over there. And I didn't say nothing to the mother. I just, I came over and said, hey, girl, how you doing? I walked up them stairs. And I grabbed her. And I said, don't you ever call your mother that. And I had that look in my eye, that auntie look that only auntie has. And she ain't never do it again. Ever. Good. Said, no, I don't play that.
Better than me.
Sometimes it's just things that aunties do. We just do.